I think it's back up. I think it's back up. Sorry about that, folks. Yeah, amazing timing. At least it did it now, aside from in the future here. So we're going to take a look at the red team here. We've got Orguyu, kind of an interesting name here. So taking a look at the first member, the engineer Heisenberg here, who is going to be playing rifle engineer. He's going to be running Runes of the Holbrook and Celestial Amulet with the Sigil of Doom and Intelligence. Next, we've got he's running 60044. Nothing too special. He is running Elixir S over Slick Shoes there, so that's a little bit out of the norm. We've seen some players use it as of late, but it's nothing. It's kind of old meta. Instead of the Slick Shoes, with Slick Shoes you have the reduced stun break cooldown there. So next we've got Blind Guardian here, who is going to be playing the Elementalist for this team. He will be running Dagger with Runes of the Old Brook and Celestial Amulet. He's going to be running 00266. Nothing special about his build. Next, we got the engineer here, who's playing another rifle engineer, so 2 rifle engineers for this team, and his traits are going to be the same. They're going to be 60044. He is running Slick Shoes, however, over that Elixir S that we saw earlier with Heisenberg. Next, we've got the second Elementalist. Man, they've got a lot of Celestial here. They're running 2 Dagger Elementalists and 2 Celestial Rifle Engineers, so they're going to be hard to take down. He's going to be running 00266 as well. This will be interesting to see where all their damage I mean, they have damage, it's there, and the more interesting part is that we've got basically Shout's Bunker Guardian here. He's going to be running Mace Shield Staff with Runes of the Soldier and the Cleric Amulet. His build's going to be 01661. He's going to be running that Altruistic Healing build. So they're really bunky. I feel like they don't have a lot of damage aside from the engineers, and obviously Dagger Elementals can put out a lot of damage, but it's nothing, nothing like a Thief or a Power Necker or something of the sort. So it'll be interesting to see how they do that here. For the blue team, though, we have in God's Insurance Policy, who we have the Thief here, is going to be playing Dagger Pistol Shortbow with the Runes of the Ogre and the Berserker Amulet. His traits are going to be 26006. Next, we got the engineer, who's going to be playing Ranger for this team with the Longbow Axe Warhorn, who's going to be running Runes of the Ranger Berserker Amulet. He's going to be running 6611. This is a little interesting that he's running, especially running Signet of the Hunt over the Condi Cleanse Signet. I mean, he's got 1 in Wilderness Survival. He doesn't have a whole lot in terms of Condi removal, so he's going to rely on his teammates to go ahead and do that for him if they want him to stay alive. Next, we've got an Elementalist for this team. He's going to be running Scepter Focus with the Runes of the Ogre and Berserker Amulet, and he's going to be running, obviously, Fresh Air 06044, and he's going to be running Glyph of Elemental rather than the FGS, so a little bit more damage, but less mobility for him there. Next, for the Warrior for this team, we've got him running Axe Warhorn Longbow. He's going to be running with Runes of the Soldier and Celestial Amulet, so not Sword Warhorn, Axe Warhorn. It's going to really tear down his mobility and lockdown. He's not going to have the Immobilize for the F1 there, and he's not going to have that Sword Leap, but he might. I mean, auto attack with Axe is single-handedly the best auto attack in the game in terms of damage, so he's going to be putting out a lot of damage there. Obviously, he's running Celestial, so it's not as much as Zerker, but we'll have to see how that works out for him. He's going to be running 00563 with one stance, Shake It Off, and For Great Justice, so let's see how that does it for him. And finally, we've got the second Elementalist here. He's going to be running Staff Ellie with Runes of the Langer and the Cleric's Amulet. And his setup is going to be 00266. So that about does it. Actually, he's running Glyph of Elementals too. So they don't have a single FGS on this blue team side. And what I do want to say is that the blue team has massive damage, unlike the red team. The red team's really sustained. They've got 2 Dagger Ellies, 2 Celestial Engineers with Rifle, and they've got a Bunker Guardian running Altruistic Healing. So I have to go ahead and see how this works out for him.
The match starts soon.
Got this match finally underway here. Let's go ahead and take a look at the opening splits for both teams. I feel like the red team has the superior advantage here with all the damage that they're able to put out over the blue team. The other way around, the blue team over the red team. The red team has so much sustain, but they're not even pushing 3 points. That's exactly what they need to do with this comp, and they've got 3 people crossing for the blue team here. So blue team not actually opting to go for that midpoint. Head Nogshot, the ranger for the blue team, is going to actually go for that chieftain kill here. Got a big fight emerging on this mine node. The free cap coming out for the red team. Guardian at the mid node here. Blue team did manage to get their home node. We got a big fight going on here at the mine. We got the crate coming down for the red team. And this, I feel like Headshot Naga is kind of wasting his time at this chieftain. It's not a very smart idea to go for that. Got that 25 bonus, but I mean, it's not bad ultimately. They're doing okay. The banner came out, but Fallen Heart was in mist form, so that was a bit of a wasted banner. We got the Warrior Rock here going into downstate as well. Shadow Refuge coming out for Zetsu over here. So this is a one fight for the red team. They did have the members advantage here. They had 4 members of their team here over the 3 members of the blue team. I'm actually quite surprised the blue team held out as long as they did. Looks like we have the Ranger going for this one as well. So yeah, I'm not exactly sure if he's not in the good position to take that. His team needed him at the mine point. Blue team did manage to get it though, and it brings the Ranger out of the downstate here. Zetsu here getting pretty low, does go into the downstate, and we have a blue team making a push for the mid node here. So we're going to have to see if they can capitalize off of those 2 bosses there. Get them the extra 50 points. Not going to really do a whole lot in the long run. In the short run, it's going to give them that slight lead, maybe a little bit of comfort to move around with and see what they can do from here. Looks like right off a respawn, we do have the Warrior heading here. The Ranger's at the midpoint, and Zetsu is getting bled out over there. And we have the other Elementalists for the blue team sitting on that henge node. I'm not sure that's a wise idea necessarily. Is his use? I mean, his abilities could be used elsewhere. Seeing as they just lost a 3v1 at the mid node against that Ranger, they're going to crash hard on the mine node. So we're going to have to see what they're able to do here, but it doesn't look like Blue's in. I mean, we did see Zetsu res. He did manage to res from the downstate there, and it looks like finally we have the Engineer push, or excuse me, the Elementalist pushing the mid node. They're going to 2v1 that. We got the Ranger off a respawn. So good rotation there. Let's just hope they don't sit the Ranger there at the henge node, but it looks like he is going to. Meanwhile, at this point, we have Fallen Heart going to the downstate. We got the Stomp coming out from Heisenberg, but the Mistforward comes out. We're going to have to see if they can get him up. Rock is in the downstate too, so this is a lost fight for the blue team. They're going to be pushing into this mid node here. And this is a pretty, even game, regardless of what has happened. I mean, Orguyu here is doing well. They're winning the fights, but I feel like the blue team is just getting out-rotated. They're not exactly going where they need to, and they got the decap on the henge node here. But we got the decap on the mid node so close. Britted is about to go down. He did get off the point, and Blind Guardian wasn't actually able to get onto the point in time. We're going to have to see if they can get that res off him. No, the Stomp comes out from the blue team. Red team Engineer pushing from the henge node. He is going to come to the mid node, seeing as his team needs help, but it might be a little too late. Heisenberg's just sitting in a 1v3 here, and red team's, they're kind of grouped up here. They need to push into this mid node if they want to hold this here. Blue team's just kind of all over the place here. We got Rock making his way to the mine. They've finally taken back their home node, but this, despite the score being relatively close, only about a 40-point lead for the red team here, the blue team is just out of position in most places here, and they really need to step up and regroup here if they want to take some fights and get back into this game. Do have the Guardian Britted coming off respawn. He's going to ignore that node. Good decision from ignoring the the mine node there, coming off a respawn, seeing as it was a cap node. But we have 2 rotations coming for the blue team. Seeing they lost that mid fight, they're just going to push over here to this mine node, which is an excellent rotation. They didn't need to sit at the mid node. It looked like it was lost. As Zetsu did go in the downstate there, and they're going to attempt to play sides here, but I'm not so sure that they're going to be able to get the kills off anytime soon, because this is a very tanky team. We've got 4 Celestial and a Cleric's Amulet for the red team. Rock on the point, does manage to get the decap there, so good job from Rock getting on the point, helping his team get that decap so they weren't going to lose that node. We got a big fight going on at both nodes here. We have Headshot about to go down for the Engineer. Meanwhile, at the henge node, it looked like the 2v1 was taking place, and they're probably forcing off Blind Guardian off that node. They do have Britted sitting on that mid node there, which is not going to be, they're not going to be making a whole lot of use out of him here. So we'll have to see what he decides to do from there. Headshot trying to put out the damage. They've got the decap node. Rock is in the downstate there. I think he should be trying to help his team res. No, Heisenberg gets the S-Stomp there. And blue team trying to get on to Chieftain here. We're going to have to see who takes this one. He's about 25% health. This is a 2v1 situation. Blue team should be able to take it. Zetsu goes in the downstate. He's the man. He's the big damage guy, and red team takes it. It reses Zetsu there, but that was not a good use of Zetsu's abilities. He's in downstate, and here we have Fallen Heart in the downstate. Svanir, I'm not sure they know that he reses him, because as soon as they get the kill on Svanir, we'll have to see if Svanir dies in time. Svanir does die before the Stomp comes out from Heisenberg onto Fallen Heart, and they're going to be pushing into this mid node here. Blue team making their way to the mid node. They're at a big disadvantage here in terms of points. We're going to have to see how that goes, how that works for them. They're going to push 3 nodes here. Zetsu getting pretty low here. We do have 2 members of the blue team dead at the mine node. Looks like one did get stomped. Fallen Heart's going to go down as well. Zetsu and company trying to put some damage out here in this 3v2 situation. They're just, they're 2 on respawn right now. I'm not sure if they're probably gonna push to mine. We're gonna have to see if they're able to actually get a decap. But it looks like Queen of the Storms is actually gonna be sitting on that point, so not a whole lot he's gonna be able to do for him there. Looks like Zetsu was pushing out to that mine node. Doesn't actually realize that Queen of the Storms is there. I'm thinking he should have stayed at the min node to help his team out. But I'm not exactly sure. Now yes, he did go down. The engineer Chandler did manage to take him down. It looks like the blue team is going to be once again bailing off this midpoint and pushing to the mine. Blue team's kind of spread out here. They are, I mean, they've got a down team member over here. Zetsu did just get stomped, and we do have the Elementalist sitting around the henge node, possibly waiting for the next boss because they've went for him every time this game. Queen of the Storm's getting low against Fallen Heart. Fallen Heart trying to take him out here with the massive damage that he's able to put out. Queen of the Storms, there he gets taken down, but Chandler's coming in. He needs support. We have Frock coming in, possibly going for a stomp. We'll have to see if he manages to get it. Here he's coming in for the stomp. Does get it onto the Queen of the Storms there. Chandler brings out the crate. We're going to have to see how long he can last against 2 members of this blue team. Actually gets +1 Blind Guardian here to help him out. So this is even 2v2 here, but they did manage to get this decap on the henge node, so this is going to be a huge favor of the red team. We're going to probably see them take this game because they've got the 2 cap and generally been dominating fights throughout this game here. Looks like they're just going to let them get this henge node. As we did see Heisenberg, he was in the 3v1 situation. Good peel out from Heisenberg.
Just like that, blue team takes a capture.
Fallen Heart and his buddy here, Croc, are getting pretty low. They don't have reinforcements. It looked like Headshot and Zetsu were just chasing Heisenberg around there. Not a wise decision, seeing as they need to help this node out. If they want any chance of getting back into this game, which is probably unlikely at this point, they really need to move that other Elementalist off that home node and push him to the mine node or the mid node. But it looks like probably going to be seeing the red team take this game. They did just stomp out Fallen Heart and Rock, and blue team trying to make a push for the mid node, but it might be a little bit too late. Headnog just looks like he's just kind of sitting up there doing the damage he can. I mean, there's a Bunker Guardian on that point. He's not going to die anytime. I mean, it's not as good as Celestial, but regardless, he is a Bunker Guardian. There we have it. Red team taking game 1 over Gods, Red team taking game 1 over God's Insurance Policy. So Orguyu doing a good job there of, you know, taking that first game. They were rotating pretty well, getting in and out of fights when they needed to be, and for the most part, winning all of the team fights and all the skirmishes. There wasn't a whole lot that the other team seemed to counter them with by any means. So going into this game 2, interested to see how, if any changes are going to be made, or if they're going to push, red team push 3 nodes here. I mean, it looked like that composition right there that worked out for them pretty well, despite what I said earlier. They were lacking damage, but they made the most of it and did what they could there to take that victory. Just waiting on a few team members to ready up here. In my opinion, I think the red team, I think Orguyu will definitely take this second game. They've got the composition. I mean, it worked on Forest, which isn't even the best for a composition like this. Something like Legacy, where you can snowball extremely hard, is going to work out for them pretty well, I'd imagine. So, wouldn't be surprised to see Orguyu take this second game and go on into the semifinals. We do have 8 teams who signed up for tonight's tournament. Rather well turnout. Free agents were allowed this week, so we had 2 free agent teams, and we had 6 others sign up as teams. Strangely, oddly enough, the previous tournament champions, which was Lux's team, which was Seraphs of Fortuna, and the Dream, the team called The Dream, they didn't actually sign up tonight. I believe a couple of their members did on other teams, but they didn't actually sign up tonight. So we're going to see a little bit different teams this evening, which is nice for a change. We won't be seeing Seraphs of Fortuna and the Dream in the finals like we have the past 2 or 3 weeks here. So looks as if one of the Elementalists, he said he was having ping problems, but it looks like they are going to go ahead and ready up here.
The match starts soon.
So getting into the second game here, the winner here will take on the winner between Team Magma and Synergia. So good teams that they'll play against in the next round if they happen to make it out of this. So I have to see if the red team or Guyu can take this game number 2 and seal their place in the semifinals, or if God's Insurance Policy can take it to a map 3. Looking at the opening splits, we do have Orguyu. They are going to be making their way to 3 nodes, so that's a good decision with their composition. They're pushing 3 nodes, but so is God's Insurance Policy, the blue team here. Looks like the Thief was going to be making a push for the quarry, seeing what's there. We do have a big fight going on at the mid nodes, a 3v2 until, actually Chandler's going to be +1ing this, so 3v3 going on right here. I have to take a look at Chandler, see what he's able to do here. Did manage to get caught in that elite skill entangle by headshot there, but he's in a bad position right now. Headshot should not be onto this node. He should be up raining hell upon the other team with that longbow. Such long range, and he needs to utilize it and get out of that fight. Heisenberg's on top of him. I have to see if he does manage to take him out. He does take him out, and we have a +1 going onto the quarry node. Looks like at the quarry node we do have Queen of the Storms. He actually gets fully stomped by Zatsu, so Zatsu was able to take him out there, and Chandler +1s that, so not allowing him to take that point. But once again, we're even fight because somebody died. We had Headshot die at the mid node, and we had Queen of the Storms die at this mid node. We've got even fights going throughout this map, so only 5 to 5 right now. Oh, a minute and 15 seconds into this game. This is rather strange. I mean, sometimes we will see something like this, but for the most part, I mean, I'm very surprised that the blue team has held up as they have because of their composition not being as sustainable as the red teams here. We do have a down person for Zetsu. Zetsu did get taken out by Chandler. Looks like he's going to come to this mid node +1 that. Looks like Heisenberg was probably trying to solidify that. Possibly not great communication. He could have helped his team get into that fight, or possibly end this mid-fight. We do have Headshot in a 1v1 trying to chase Blind Guardian down. We do have finally 1 caps for both teams here and making their way to this mid node. So this mid fight is going to be everything. And I feel like the red team here has the advantage with all the sustain they have here. But, I mean, look at the health pools. It's relatively even for the most part. It looks like Heisenberg was able to just regen there. Still has his crate on cooldown and his Elixir S. Crate does come out onto Rock there. Let's see if Rock is able to get out of this. He has banner up, so he doesn't want to be focused right now because he still has his banner cooldown up. If they're able to focus someone else like Fallen Heart, he'd be able to res them. But Rock doing what he can to stay alive. We do have a 2v1 going on for the blue team at the waterfall node. This is a bad decision, seeing as they already have the node. There's no reason Headshot needs to be there. They need his damage. They need his health here at the mid node. But the red team not able to actually take out Rock and Fallen Heart here. Good play from the blue team for the most part. There's a 1v1 between Zetsu and Queen going on here. We did see Zetsu take that earlier. We're going to have to see if he can take it again. Rock going to be piecing out of this fight. Good rotation to get out of there. But Blind Guardian sitting up here. We're going to have to see if he actually focuses him. He's just in a 1v2, holding his own really well here. Rock possibly going to the downstate. Is he going to go in the downstate? Oh, he's able to stay alive, but just there, condition ticked on him. He did go in the downstate. We have Chandler and Heisenberg here throwing in for the stomp. It looks like blue team is probably going to lose this mid fight. Actually, I mean, we've got an elementalist and a bunker, 2 elementalists, excuse me, here for the blue team still alive. So this could be, this could still be a contested node for quite some time here. We do have, once again, Zetsu takes out Queen of the Storms, and Chandler's going to +1 him, see if he can get the D. He did get the decap, so Zetsu, I think he should bail out of this fight right now. If he bails out of this fight, he died right there. He should have bailed out of the fight. He wasn't going to stay alive. He would have wasted about 30 seconds of Chandler's time there to cap it and get back to that mid node. We do have a 2v2 going on here at the mid and at the waterfall. We have decap nodes all around with about a 15-20 point lead here for the red team, but banner coming out from Rock here, able to get his teammate up, and looks like they're going to force Blind Guardian out of this waterfall node. Red team did take Quarry. Blue team going to be taking waterfall here. I have to see if the blue team is able to capitalize on the numbers advantage, or excuse me, the red team on the numbers advantage, seeing as Zetsu is out of this fight. We do have Harak making his way back into the mid node here, but Zetsu once again going for that 1v1 on Queen of the Storms. It's not a bad move for him, seeing as he's won the 1v1 twice now. But apparently Queen of the Storms is the one who was having the connection issues that I was told about earlier. Regardless, it's, I don't believe the blue team knows about that, so it's not a bad idea to continue to go for that, even if you don't know about the connection issues. And we do have Heisenberg pushing off at this waterfall, but we have Rock in pursuit, and we have a 2v1 going on. Zetsu just wasting Blind Guardian and Queen of the Storm's time over here. I think Queen of the Storms needs to bail off this node. and get to this mid node, as they're in a 2v2 situation here, and looks like Heisenberg's going to get +1. So even fights here on out, but Corey is capped in favor of the red team here, which is going to, obviously give them that point advantage for some time until blue team finally taking back their home node. And we are yet to see this mid node be captured. Not very uncommon, but 5 minutes and 15 seconds already gone from this clock here, and we don't even have a person at 200 points, not even 150. So this is a very interesting game. I guarantee this is going to time out. There's not a lot of damage coming out from the red team, and the blue team doesn't seem to be able to be able to put all their damage onto one teammate for the red team. And actually, I believe I didn't point this out earlier. Fallen Heart did change from Scepter Focus to Dagger Dagger. So we've got one Dagger Dagger Ellie, and we've got a Staff Ellie here. They're able to put out some decent damage, but they've got a Thief and a Power Ranger for the most part. So if they can coordinate their damage, they should be able to take out some of these team members for the red team. But even so, the red team still has about that 40-point advantage here. Possibly could see the takeout onto Headshot here. He's got his heal ticking for him, but that's not a lot. Doesn't have much. Those auto attacks coming out from Heisenberg are going to do massive damage onto him. Heisenberg's still on top of him. Actually, that was Chandler. Excuse me for that. Did manage to take him out there. Going to get that stomp here on the mid node. It looks like we're going to see the advantage in the red team's favor once Chandler can make his way back. Actually, we still have a 2v1 going on at this quarry. So red team really bringing two of their biggest damage dealers just sitting at the quarry node in a 1v2. That's not going to do too many wonders for him. And we do have Chandler going to get that decap on that waterfall. So they're just going to be able to continuously take that lead because he will get that decap. There he goes ahead and gets it. Actually, he's going to be pushing for the mid node. Rock going to get that cap. Headshot, I'm not exactly sure why he's going through the waterfall. No, not a good play from him. We do have Zetsu down at the mid node though, and red team could definitely take this point once and for all if they're able to get this kill onto Pyro in a few short seconds. I'm not exactly sure why they're +1ing this quarry node either. I mean, Headshot is pushing onto this node, sure, but it's just a Dagger Dagger Ellie versus Dagger Dagger Ellie over here, and he should be able to hold quite some time. Heisenberg's going to push and +1 that possibly as well. And a 2v2 at this mid node. So right when you think the red team has an opportunity to take the mid node and get to 2-cap, they continuously +1 this home fight that they don't need to because they've already capped the node. There's no reason for them to actually +1 this. They did manage to take down Headnog. So if they can get 2-3 kills here, Zetsu's +1ing this as well, we could definitely see the red team crash mid and finally get some kills on it and take that 2-cap. They've had the superior advantage for most of this game. They've been getting decap after decap on the waterfall. They've been getting most of the kills. But that waterfall node, red team needs to split up. They need to push the 3 points because of the sustain that they have. They have a lot of mobility too with 2 FGS, and they're not utilizing it very much. There we go. Blind Guardian making a push for the waterfall here. Take a look at the mid node where we still have a decap point. Crate is on the ground though. Headshot's going to +1 that. So this is a 3v2 in favor of the blue team. Britt is getting focused fairly hard by Headshot here. Headshot's getting focused by Chandler. He needs his teammates to peel him off for him. Otherwise, he's going to go down relatively soon. A lot of damage coming out from Chandler onto Headshot there. So there we have it. Red team taking my advice and playing 3 nodes, and obviously getting that waterfall node for them is going to help tremendously and build this lead. Only 6.5 minutes left. They just hit the 250-point mark for the red team here. And we have Blind Guardian in a 1v1 against Rock here. It looks like one member from each team here going to be +1ing this fight. Have to see if the blue team can manage to take back this node for themselves, as they need it tremendously. I mean, Lord Rush is not out of the question, given the fact that the time limit is at 6 minutes. If the blue team can manage to take a node here, which they did just take down Blind Guardian. Rock does, oh, he's going for the stomp here. Did miss form away. Have to see if he's manages to get him here, but so looks like the blue team's going to take this point away. They're going to take it back, which is really good for them, because they're not, Lord Rush, like I said, is not out of the question. If they manage to get a cap here and ticket for the rest of the game, along with the red team's cap, and hold mid contested, they could get a Lord kill and still have the lead if it times out at the end. We're gonna have to see though. It looks like the red team will probably get to 500. We'll have to see if they're able to hold on to Corey. But like we've seen multiple times, we have seen Zetsu +1 this. They're going to 1v1 against Queen of the Storm and take him out and get those decaps. But the red team working really hard to hold on to this node, knowing that the game pretty much relies on them holding this. Surprisingly enough, we didn't see the glyph from elementals coming out for the red team, for the blue team here, excuse me. I'm not exactly sure Fallen Heart's idea of not taking him out there. That would have helped him tremendously in that 1v1, or excuse me, that 1v2. It would have allowed him to actually hold that for quite some time if he brought the water elemental out for himself there. So it looks like the red team is going to be plussing this fight once again, but it's still 4v4 because we still have Queen of the Storm still sitting at that home node there. And we do have headshot going down. Heisenberg does get the stomp on the headshot. So finally, I mean, once again, it's not even a +1 fight. It's we do have Blind Guardian get that decap on Waterfall, which is good. It's not a bad decision by any means. I mean, they're at 350 points. It looks like they're probably going to take this game number 2. Let's have to see if he can manage to get. This is where that sword rather than the axe for Rock here would really come in handy. Allow him to get back to that point super fast and not always allow for Blind Guardian to get that full cap. Second time this game Blind Guardian has gotten that full cap. It really killed him, seeing as it's 375 to 207 here, and blue team is not gaining any takes here. Lord Rush is definitely out of the question right now. So it looks like we're I mean, if red team looks like Queen of Storm is just going to sit on that quarry, blue team will manage to kill Blind Guardian and get that cap back. It looks like Chandler wanted to make a move for the waterfall, but didn't happen. Just a big team fight going out here. Zetsu making a push for quarry. So Zetsu has won this matchup, this 1v1, 3 times this game. So I wouldn't be surprised to see, yep, Chandler's coming back to help him. He knows he needs to help. All they have to do is hold this node, and they can win the game, assuming the blue team doesn't go for a Lord Rush and hold on a couple of points here. So
Blue team grabbed a
possibly
point.
seeing Orguyu here taking the, yep, Zetsu's going to the down state. So I think we're going to see Orguyu taking this game number 2 here any second. I mean, I don't believe this mid node was capped a single time this game. All caps have come from side nodes. It's rare that you actually see this. In the past, not so much, but right now in this current state of the meta, I mean, it might go a few minutes of not being capped, but the entire game, I can't say I've seen a game where the mid node has not been capped. So much disdain coming out from the red team, and they're not actually able to focus what damage they have onto that blue team, or they'll +1 their home fight and win that instead of winning the mid node, which isn't a bad idea necessarily because of how blue is playing this game. But red team taking the sides here, probably going to be taking this game. Yes, I don't believe there's any way. I don't believe, aside from a 3 cap here, I don't believe there's any way the blue team could actually come back to the end of this game, aside from getting a 3 cap and getting the Lord kill here. So they will be going on to take on Team Magna or Team Synergia. So we're going to have to see how they fare up against them in the semifinals. Do want to give a reminder, this contest is supported by ArenaNet, so first place does get 2,000 gems per player, and second place gets 800 gems per player as well. And we do have 2 giveaways tonight, just so everybody knows if they wish to stick around. We have 2 giveaways, which will be revealed after the break, after this game here. And there we have it, guys. Orguyu taking game number 2 against God's Insurance Policy and ensuring themselves a spot in the semifinals against a very, very good set of teams. It'll either be Team Magna or Team Synergia, which are 2 solid teams with recognizable player names, so we'll have to see how they can fare against them. Anyhow, we are going to go on a short break here, and we will be back with details on the prizes that we have for tonight for our viewers. So hang tight, guys, and we'll be back in a bit.
Soul Fever. Feel the sound. Soul Fever. Feel the sound.
Alright guys, welcome back to the Academy Gaming Weekly number 12. We are still waiting on the other team in the upper half of this bracket. Looks as if Team Magna is up 1-0 against Synergia, and they have a very long game going on right now. So we are going to go ahead and start the giveaway. We will go ahead and do that before the game actually starts. So anybody in chat, go ahead and say something in the Twitch chat, and you will be automatically entered into the giveaway. You must be following the channel. If you're not following the channel, you will not be entered. I should probably say what the giveaway is first. We are going to be giving away 2 self-style hair kits, given the fact that they just added 3 per race, if I'm not mistaken. So we're going to go ahead. I think it's hair kits, if I'm not mistaken. Regardless, we are giving away 2 of those tonight. So this is going to be the first one, as we are going to be waiting here for a couple of minutes for this Team Magna to go ahead and ready up into this game here. So go ahead and say something in the Twitch chat if you wish to be entered. Reminder, you must be following. If you're not following, it'll be a reroll no matter what you say in chat. So admins are not permitted to win either. So apologies to Papa. I'm going to give you guys a couple of minutes. I'm going to go ahead and go back into the waiting screen for just about 2 to 3 minutes here. And then we will go ahead and finish the giveaway, and we'll go ahead and get into match. So hang tight with us, guys. We'll be back in just a couple minutes. Reminder to those of you just joining, say something in Twitch chat if you want to be entered into the giveaway, and you must be following the channel. So we'll be back in just a couple minutes, guys. Hang tight.
The truth is running in our blood. The answers are lying here within.
Alright guys, we have our winner of the round of 8. So we are going to be having Team Magna up against Orguyu in this upcoming round. We do have the giveaway, like I just said, that is going to be done in just a minute here. So if you're just joining us, you must be following the channel and you have to say something in Twitch chat. I'm going to give you guys about 30 seconds here to go ahead and do that, and then we'll go ahead and get the giveaway underway here. So like I said, it is a stealth style kit, excuse me, for the hair. So got 2 of those to give away tonight. We're going to do one now, and we're going to do one after the tournament has concluded for this evening. So just give it a couple seconds here. We are going to we'll actually go through the builds here, and then we'll go ahead and do the giveaway. So just to give some people a little bit of time and to catch up with the stream so we can go ahead and do that giveaway here. So let's take a look at the red team, which we've already seen Orguyu play. We just saw them in the last match. We'll go over their builds really quickly here. Chandler is going to be playing the Celestial Rifle engineer for this team. There are 2 of them. Him and Heisenberg are actually playing the same exact build, except Heisenberg has Elixir S and Chandler is going to be using Slick Shoes. They're both running 60044. We've got 2 Dagger Elementalists. Excuse me, we have 1 Dagger Elementalist, and we have 2 of them actually for this team. The other team, excuse me, before was running a Staff Ellie. Queen of the Storm is going to be running Dagger Ellie. It's going to be running 00266. We've got Blind Guardian, who's going to be running it as well. He's running Dagger with the Runes of the Holbrook, and Celestial Amulet and running 00266. Next we've got Bridded here, who is going to be running Cleric's Amulet, Bunker Guardian for his team with altruistic healing. He's got the staff, he's got the mace shield, excuse me, and he also has the Rune of the Soldier, and he's going to be running 01661 with triple shouts. And we're just waiting on a couple members to actually join teams here. Let's take a look at a couple of the blue team's builds as we are waiting for them to join up. We got Cyndaquil, who's going to be playing Rifle NG for this team with the Runes of Vampirism. Like I said earlier, I believe in the last match, I think we had somebody running an interesting choice of runes. I believe it's actually coming into the meta for the most part, ever since the nerf to Might way back when. I think people are starting to transition into Vampirism. We'll have to see how that works out for him. He's going to be running 60044. I believe he just left the arena there for a second. Take a look at this Necromancer style, who's going to be running Dagger Warhorn with the staff. He's going to be running Power Necro with the Runes of the Pack and Berserker Amulet. His traits are going to be 62006. Next, we've got Sunfish here, who's going to be playing DPS card. He's going to be running Hammer Scepter Focus with the Runes of the Traveler and Berserker Amulet. He's going to be running 01616. Next, we've got Aoni Saintfey. He's going to be running the Thief for this blue team. He's running Dagger Pistol with the Runes of the Pack and the Berserker Amulet. He's going to be running Panic Strike, so 60206 is the Panic Strike build. And he also has Blinding Powder over Infiltrator Signet, so we're not going to see him have that extra stun break, but he's going to get that nice Blinding Powder. It's very useful in many situations. Finally, we've got Brain, excuse me. He's going to be playing the Mesmer for this blue team. He's going to be running Staff, Sword, Torch with the Runes of Strength. Berserker Amulet is going to be running 44006. So nothing special about his build. He is running Mirror Images over Portal. That's kind of a little out of the meta, but some people prefer that to Portal. It doesn't allow for the great mobility of a Portal, but it does allow for a little bit more survivability if you need to get those extra shatters off, or a little bit more diversion for you. And on this red team, I believe we missed one of the builds. I think we missed Chandler, if I'm not mistaken. He is going to be running Rifle NG for this team as well. So before we go ahead and get this started, we are going to do our giveaway now. I believe we have had plenty of time for people to say something in chat, so let's go ahead and get this underway here. Our first giveaway winner is going to be Ready Made is Laughing, who is an admin for this tournament. So I'm sorry, Ready Made, you are not able to claim your prize. We're going to go ahead and roll again. Ready Made is what in the world is going on? Ready Made winning 2 times in a row. I have to go ahead and change the settings for the giveaways here. It looks like Ready Made won twice in a row. Ready Made must be doing something here. Ready Made he is rigging it. What did you do, Ready Made? Alright, let's try this here. Let's see if we can go ahead and get somebody that is not named Ready Made. The giveaway doesn't seem to want to work right now. Let's go ahead and do this, see if we can get it here. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. Whoops. It appears that Nightbot wasn't actually giving me a winner. So the actual winner is Heretic821. Heretic, go ahead and say something in the chat if you. Heretic is here. So Heretic, you did win. What you need to do is you need to PM me via Twitch with your username in game, so I can go ahead and send that prize to you. So we are going to go ahead and get ready with this match here. Apologies for that little couple misclicks there. It appears Ready Made won twice in a row, and then we had several other winners. So Heretic is the actual winner there. Finally getting underway to this game here.
The match starts soon.
Got some notable names for the blue team here. All pretty well known players for the most part. A lot of them are on alt classes, seeing as if you are a high tier player you must play in alt classes here. So I have to see how this works out for them. I feel like the red team has a superior advantage here. I'll have to take a look at the opening splits. We've got Blind Guardian pushing for that team. It's going to be making way to that third node. So they are taking what I said earlier. I'm not sure if it was from me, but they are doing what I suggested earlier, playing 3 nodes with that very tanky composition. Blue team has a lot of damage, so they're actually just going to push 4 members to this midpoint. All in stealth. We'll have to take a look at Anya Stage-Fae, see if he's actually going to go ahead and get a lot of burst damage out onto Heisenberg. Heisenberg absolutely annihilated right there from Anya Stage-Fae and company. The Mesmer Thief combo did a lot of damage. Obviously, we've got a DPS Guardian as well, so massive damage coming out from the blue team here. We got the 1 cap on both teams' favor here. Blind Guardian was taken out by Stalagta here at the Henge node, so blue team looking really strong. Take down Brit as well. Definitely going to be starting out this game with a 2 cap, and the red team doing a good job of regrouping. That's the only way they can actually get back into this game. I mean, it's not. I shouldn't say get back into this game, but regroup and get back into a team fight. They have Blind Guardian once again pushing against Stalagta. Not a very wise move, seeing as he lost the last fight. We'll have to take a look at Stalagta here, see if he used any of his cooldowns though. He actually did use his Lich in that 1v1, so not a bad idea for Blind Guardian to go for this. Cynical is going to +1 it though, and it looks like the red team, Heisenberg, got in a bad situation there, trying to overextend a little bit and just got taken out big time. Red team really needed him alive, because if this was a 2v1 here at this Henge node, red team could have capitalized and pushed for the mid node, but instead Heisenberg did get caught out of position there and was taken down, so the red team didn't have the numbers advantage. Now we're going to be pushing to this Henge node, and we're going to have to see what the deal is going on at the mine, as Sunfish does get the free decap here. So it looks like the red team, they're just out of position, just down all around the map here, and blue team absolutely dominating them from the get-go here. Taking down that first team fight, absolutely annihilating teams.
Blue team grabbed the capture point.
Team fights, excuse me. Blue team does take the 3 cap here, so I have to see if the red team, what they do here. I think they just need to regroup at their home node and see what they can do. Use the mobility of the FGS and try and get around the map, get some decaps, but they're not really regrouping at this mid node. We do have Heisenberg making his way right past Anya. Gonna get that free decap at the midpoint. We'll have to see if he stays for the full cap here. And blue team just, I mean, they're absolutely dominating everywhere. There's a 2v1 going on, 2v2 going on over here at the Henge. Stalagta getting kind of close. This is a really close fight. We got Brit here, and we've got Chandler. I mean, they're doing a lot of damage onto Stalagta here. Stalagta is going to be going down here, so they are going to actually win this skirmish. Cyndaquil going in for the res. We'll have to see some damage. Does he get the res? No, he does not get the res. So we have the stomp coming out there from Brit, and blue team. I mean, they have the mine, but they're losing this Henge node, so good regroup from the red team, getting back into this game and attempting to, take a win off this very good team here. Anya does manage to get this decap on the mid node. No one for the red team even around.
Did you see that? Red team got a capture point.
Have to see what the red team's next move is after respawn. We do have Queen of the Storms making his way to the mine, but Sunfish is there waiting for him. Red team does have the 1 cap on the side, but at the mid node obviously was decapped by Anya a little bit earlier. Blind Guardian getting absolutely Blind Guardian was getting absolutely annihilated here at the mid node as well. This is a 2v2 situation, but Brain and Anya Sagefair are just doing work. So much damage coming out from the both of them. Blind Guardian and Heisenberg not able to keep the sustain up. Really needs to heal from Heisenberg here. If he's going to have it any second, we'll have to see. No, if he didn't have it up, he's going to throw down the Stealth and the Elixir S to try and get this res. Anya Sagefair is almost down though. We'll have to see if he does manage to get taken out by conditions. Blind Guardian did miss for him, but Anya's in downstate as well. So we got a downstate fight plus 1v1 going. Not in the downstate. Cyndaquil did +1 this. It looks like Blind Guardian does get cleaved out before they can actually get to stomp onto Anya, which is going to res Anya here. And there we have blue team taking sides once again, and probably going to be taking the 3 cap with this mid node. Heisenberg here trying to decide what exactly he should do possibly. I think he needs to get back around his base and regroup with some of his teammates. As blue team does have a 2 cap. Red team did manage to regroup at the home though. Good push from them to get here. Try and get Sunfish out of here with Anya and get this cap. It's just what they needed if they want to, try and start something here again.
Red team got a capture point.
Looks like they're already pushing across the beach for the side nodes. Blind Guardian in a 1v1 against Stalagta here, but Stalagta thrown down as well. Doesn't have a whole lot of cooldown. His Lich isn't up for another minute and 15 seconds. So Chandler's going to +1 this for him. Stalagta's here. In a 1v2 it looked like, but then Anya and Sunfish +2 it. So it's a 3v2. Brid comes in here, but it's a little too late. He's going to go for this res. We'll have to see if he's able to get it in time. Huge team fight coming out here. We got a 3v4 in the favor of the blue team here. As it looks like Heisenberg did die at the mid node. Chandler is not going to get res. Blind Guardian's down. Brid's down. So this is really going in favor of the blue team here. Good effort from the red team. Just a little slow on the rotations. Heisenberg probably shouldn't have been at the mid node there, which pretty much doomed him in terms of it wasn't necessarily all of his fault there, but if he hadn't have died at that mid node there, it could have been, it could have behooved them greatly at that fight, because that was a 3v4 fight. They +3'd it, and they didn't have enough sustain. They didn't have enough people there to soak in all that damage that's coming out from Brain, Anya, and Sunfish, and Stalagta. They've got 4 Zerker amulets here between the 4 of them, so it's a lot of damage, and they've got a lot of sustain. They just need to utilize it correctly. But as many have said, the counter to Celestial Amulet is the Zerker meta. As we saw in the WTS, we saw the Celestial Amulets of the Abjured losing to a DPS Guardian of Orange Logo, which really seemed to do a lot for him with that, all that DPS here. Granted, the blue team has a lot more players that are more experienced, not necessarily on these classes, but in rotations and on how to play as a whole. And we do have the Lich coming out here from Stalagta that's going to help clean up this fight. Just look at the health pools. Look at the conditions. Just a full team wipe from the red team there. That Lich doing absolute work. And yeah, we're going to see this game number 1. See the good GG coming out from the red team here. We're going to see Team Magma taking this game number 1 against Orguyu with near total domination from the get-go. We saw red team take a couple of skirmishes here and there, but for the most part, Team Magma was absolutely annihilating the team fights. Like you just saw in that last fight, that Lich just, oh man, if they didn't focus the Lich, they're going to lose the fight. I know it's on a long cooldown, but it wiped them up, and it basically took out all 5 within a few seconds. Obviously, there's a lot of damage coming out from Anya and Brain there, and Sunfish as well, but the Zerker Amulet's able to do a lot if you're not able to coordinate your sustain with each other and able to peel out of fights. If you're not able to peel out of the fights with each other, running this kind of comp that they are with 4 Celestial Amulets and a Cleric's Amulet from the Bunker Guardian, then you're not going to do so well against Zerker. So we have game number 1 going to Team Magma there in a dominating manner. Game number 2 here. I have to see who takes it. If Magma does take it, they will be going to the final. And they will face the winner between Young Handsome and the Underdogs. Do just want to say once again, we do have one more giveaway tonight, which we'll do after the tournament has concluded. We did have the EU tournament today. We had a 18, or excuse me, I believe we had a 12-team turnout for that one. They are now allowing up to 16 teams to participate, so good turnouts for the EU side of things. I dual casted that with Bruners, who runs the EU side of the Academy Gaming tournaments, and casted a couple games with him that went pretty well. Interesting to see the EU meta over there as opposed to the NA meta. It's relatively similar, but a couple of traits and a couple of utilities here and there, which are very different. For example, the Warriors. A lot of Warriors that I've seen play on EU AG tournaments, they like to use On My Mark instead of Fear Me, which can be good. It has half the cooldown that Fear Me has, assuming you're running the Shout trait, which everybody is if you're running Shout Bow. It's going to give you a little bit more healing. Obviously, it's going to double your healing with that one utility, but it's not going to give you the lockdown that Fear Me does, and it's not going to give you that potential to like have a Fear Me banner, or a Fear Me when you're rezzing somebody, or somebody's getting stomped into your team and you fear them off of them. It's not going to be as useful. On My Mark, obviously, going to give the 10 stacks of vulnerability, but it's nothing like, absolutely nothing like what Fear Me can accomplish for you and your team. Just waiting on one member of this blue team to join back up. Looks as if the teams did swap sides here. Go ahead and change these names here. Not exactly sure behind the reasoning. Looks like they forgot which teams they were on. So if Magma does take this on, take this game, and it looks like, from the last game, they absolutely dominated. So have to see if they take it, and when they do, assuming they win, they will go to the finals, which if they win that, they get 2,000 gems per person and 800 if they get second. And there's a couple really good teams that are playing in the semifinals right now. I believe one is actually a solo queue team, and they're taking on Young Handsome Rich Savages, I believe the team is named, which consists of a few high tier players who are on alt accounts and going up against the solo queue. There's a very close game going on there. Just waiting on these guys to ready up here and go ahead and get this underway. We'll have to see if the blue team, if Orguyu does go for the 3-node play again. I do see a switch though. Okay, we do have a Warrior, Fora here. So they no longer have double Engineer. He's going to be playing Hambo. Zerker Hambo. So he's going to give some damage to his team, but in a very interesting way. I mean, he's going to be running 00626 with triple stances. But I'm not exactly sure if Hambo is the right way to go. We'll have to see if it pays off for him. Obviously, not a lot of stability coming out for the red team, so Hambo might be a good idea. We'll have to see if it pays off. He's going to be running Hydromancy and Intelligence on that hammer. He's going to be running Doom and Leeching on the longbow. Feels like old times with this old meta here. Doesn't look like any other changes from out this team here. No, it looks like we have a DPS Guardian for this team now. Okay, so they got rid of the Bunker Guardian, and they've got a Hammer, Scepter, Focus, Zerker Guardian. So they went from the quadruple Celestial Amulet and the Cleric's Bunker Guardian to a Zerker Hambo Warrior and a Zerker Guardian. So we'll have to see how this works for him. They're going to be putting out a lot of damage now. Seems like they actually lacked damage last time, so we'll have to see what they're able to make do with this time. And it looks like both teams are going to be pushing for a 2-point split. Blue team going to be playing really safe, bringing 2 people out waterfall, but the red team stealthing up here. We're going to have to see if they're able to get a burst out onto somebody again. Like last game, they took down 2 people within a couple seconds. Get that pull down onto Queen of Storms, able to lightning flash out of there. About 50% of his health is gone.
Grab the capture point.
Doing a good job of staying alive for the most part. That aura from the air is really going to help him out, but just so much damage coming out from Anya, and Sunfish there. Well, get out of this alive. Huge crits coming out from Anya. He does go into the downstate. Managed to stay alive a little bit longer than last time. The banner did come out. We do have Stalacta going Lich form. Let's see if they focus him. Queen of Storms gets absolutely annihilated by that Lich. And Fora here getting destroyed as well. Look at the health bars. Queen of Storms getting fully cleaved out there. Anya is about to go down though. Anya is kind of sitting around here. He is in stealth, so we'll be okay. We do have Fora going to the downstage as well. Gets fully stomped. So it looks like the red team here are going to do an excellent job of cleaning up shop. Except Anya is in downstage. They do get the res. Not enough cleave coming out from the blue team despite their changes to 2 Zerkers now. We do have a decap coming out from Blind Guardian, so good rotation out of that. But I'm not so sure they're going to live too long at this midpoint, as we do have Makaka. He is going to get knocked off that point. We do have Anya getting that decap on the waterfall. Let's see if he's able to get it in time. Chandler is not going to get there in time. Blue team still holding the only cap with about a 7-point lead here. Makaka looks like he was trying to res himself. Did use that downstate symbol, but it doesn't look like he's going to. Brain going to come get that stomp. We do have Chandler getting the cap on the waterfall. So red team bailed that node. Blue team taking the 2 cap despite that huge, losing that first mid fight. So good, good rotations from the blue team there, despite red team absolutely annihilating that fight. I mean, for the most part, at least unlike the last match where they absolutely killed 2 people in just a couple of seconds, they were able to stay alive and get a couple caps. Decap did come out there, so a lot of CC coming off from Sunfish and Cyndaquil here. Respawns for the blue team. Coming to this waterfall. It's a little late though. Chandler is in the downstate here. I think mid is about to get capped as well. So red team going to take that first cap. Actually, Fora did get on the point time, but he's not going to stay alive for very long because he is a Zerker warrior. Let's take a look at the waterfall go. Try to res Chandler. It's not a bad idea seeing as they have. I mean, they've got the celestial celestial elementalist here, and looks like Makaka's just going to bail Queen, seeing as it's a lost fight. It's a 3v2 over there with one in the downstate. Red team does manage to take that mid node against Fora, and are going to be taking the 2 cap with the waterfall node. Possibly looking at a decap. Brain going to get it. No one even close aside from Blind Guardian. I don't think he's going to get there in time. Doesn't have lightning flash available, so looks like they are going to get that decap there. Red team, Cyndaquil already going to make a push for that gate. So despite the red team dominating the blue team at the start here, blue team did take that 2 cap, but kind of faltered. Didn't have the rotation superiority that the red team had after they faltered. Now to see if the blue team decides to regroup at their home. It looks like they were kind of going to. I think they thought Cyndaquil had left, so they are going back to it. But big team fight coming out here on this Quarry node. Chandler's in downstate. Blind does get taken out, so we had the 4v2 going on here. We're going to have to see if they get the decap at the mid node. No, so Ani Sage Fate able to get on there in time. So this is looking really good for Team Magma. Or not able to actually land any of that CC onto Cyndaquil. Good kiting from Cyndaquil there. Do have the +1 from Makaka there. Cyndaquil forced Elixir S.
Did you see that?
Red team taking that 3 cap. So they're going to get about a 100-point lead any second here. Shadow Refuge coming out from Anya there. Trying to get the burst down onto 4. 4 is going to be probably taken out here by Anya and Brain. Anya's getting super low as well. 4 is down. Anya got that burning tick on him. We'll have to see if he's able to get that off. He could with that Shadow Return. Oh, 78 health from him. Does manage to go down in the run. I mean, he went down. He's going to get rezzed by Brain, probably. We do have 4 who did Vengeance. Wow, we'll have to see if he gets it. I don't think he is. Yes. 4 does go down fully. That Vengeance expired, and they cleaned him out all the way. So Anya did get back up into that fight. Makaka here, doing what he can to stay alive. Doesn't have to heal up for another 8 seconds. Will be taken down. There's a 2v1 going on in the Quarry. In the meantime, blue team did manage to cap that node, but they are still at a huge disadvantage. 2 nodes taking for the red team, and they had that 3 cap for so long. Kaka's down. It looks like Ani's stage phase is getting super low. He's probably just going to bail out of this. still does have his blinding powder up. His heals up in just a second. Brain getting pretty close to going down as well, but they definitely have this fight. We do have a +1 from Fori here. We're going to have to see if he's able to do some work. He does have banner. Brings down the banner, but not enough to get his teammates up. Anya's down. We'll have to see. Just cleave out Anya, and he can get his teammate up. No, Makaka taken out before Anya does go down. So Anya is back up into this fight. We do have Blind Guardian down as well. And Blind Guardian gets fully taken out. We do have the decap coming out from Chandler at the mid node. Good rotations from him where he's going to leave. He's going to make Slag to think, do I want to get that node or do you want to hold on to Corey? He's going to hold on to Corey, going to follow him there. So Fori going down here. Ultimately, the whole time it felt like it was a lost fight for the blue team. The red team had their people alive, had a lot of good heals and from their downstate there, and I'm not exactly sure. The blue team just kept funneling in. Fora trying to vengeance there. Maybe that was a misclick. Not a great idea, seeing as Sunfish is at 100% health. So red team taking that 3 cap. I have to see what the next move for the blue team is here. It would be to regroup at your home node right now, if anything. They do get the decap on Quarry. Slag to doing what he can against Blind Guardian here, but ultimately Blind Guardian has the advantage against his power necro. If he's able to avoid most of his damage here, Slagta doesn't have his lich up for another 2 minutes, so if Blind Guardian can take him out by then, he should be okay. It's like Makaka went into a 1v4 situation over there. It looks like the red team. Blue team kind of wondering what's going on. They've got 2 people sitting at this mid node, 3 people, and red team just saying, you know what? We've got this. We're going to push for this Lord. We're going to take this game and move on to the finals here.
Just like that, blue team takes a capture point.
And here we have it. We have Sunfish, Anya, Brain, and Cynical moving for this node. Or excuse me, moving for the Lord here, and they take him out with ease. There we have it. Game number 2 going to Team Magma. They are going to be going to the finals here to compete for a total prize pool of 14,000 gems. Good play for both teams here. I feel like the experience of Team Magma was just far superior to that of Orguyu. Orguyu had a good run. They did very well in their first series. And, you know, put up a fight against Magma for the most part, better than what most may have expected, regardless of the fact that a lot of Team Magma, a couple of them were on ults. I mean, their rotations, everything about them knowing the game is far more experienced. So probably some lessons learned for Orguyu there, possibly to bring back next week for if they decide to come back next week. So we do have one more giveaway, which we will be doing at the end of the stream for those of you just joining us. We will be going ahead and going on to a short break before we get started with the finals here. We might cut the break a little bit short to enter the other matchup that's going on in the semifinals. Apparently that's an extremely close matchup, so we'll have to see if we're able to make it to that before the finals start. So we're going to go on a short break here, and we will be back in just a few minutes. Hang tight, folks.
Running in our blood. The answers are lying here within. is all we really need to know. Oh, break away, oh, break away, oh, break away from the chains, from the pull. Oh, break away, oh, break away, oh, break away from the chains, from the pull.
Just like that, blue team takes the counter point.
We're actually going to go ahead and get into this other match. Is the bottom of the semifinals. Cutting the break a little short here. We do have young, handsome, rich savages up against the underdogs plus hot. They did start their games on Kylo, so their matches we're going to go Kylo, Forest to Legacy. So this is game number 2. We do have young, handsome, rich savages. They did manage to take game 1, very close game. It was 500 to 475 here. So let's take a look at these guys here and see what's going on. We do have a slight lead in terms of the red team here. No cap for either team here. Red team is going to be taking that mine node, or excuse me, that henge node. And a big fight looks like it's going to be brewing, you know, at the mid node possibly. 3 people coming into this. We have the blue team managing to take this midpoint here. So we got a 1 cap going in each team's favor. Big fight going on over here near the mine node. Moob Crusher making his way over to support his teammates. Serpent does go down. Have to see if he's able to get this res off. Banner's coming out. Headshot from Zogus there. Zogus able to make sure that doesn't happen. I do want to say this blue team, they are a free agent team. All 5 of these players signed up as individual players. And were put onto a team together as first come first serve basis. So they're doing an excellent job putting up 475 against really good players over on the red team here. They got the 2 cap here. Zogus getting stomped though. This is going to be a rough fight for Trackful. He's in a 2v3 situation. Nick doing what he can. Going to be bailing out of his fight. Wise move from Nick to get out of that. Possibly push to the mid node. Speedstar's going. He is in the down state here. We're going to have to see if the blue team is able to actually get back into this game here. I mean, we do have the respawn. Zogus, it's like Glutz is a little, not paying attention as much as he should have been. Zogus is going to get that full cap onto this point, but they're going to be plus and mid really hard here. And trying to take this, we do have Speedstar still in the down state. I think he wasted a little bit of time trying to make sure, trying to get up possibly. Why am I so hot? He does go into the down state here. So we are probably going to have the 2 cap coming out for the red team here. We're going to have to see if the blue team decides to push in reinforcements here or not. Right out of the gate, Trackful going to be pushing towards mine. Decap finally coming out. Nick is in the downstate here. We do have Moob Crusher making his way to henge, so we could see possibly Decap on sides if Zogus is able to make it there in time. Speedstar probably won't make it in time for the Decap on the henge. Yeah, he's not going to, so we're going to see Decap on the sides, and we got the keep in the favor of the red team here. Zogus is just going to push, run away from this fight. Actually, he's going to come back into it. Doing what he can onto Diggums. Diggums is running a triple signet build. Quadruple signet build. I have seen him run this before. It's very, very annoying to deal with, but by no means is it superior to that of a Scepter Focus or a Dagger Ellie. Possibly he runs it just for enjoyment. It's going to be pushing. So we do have Speedstar trying to force Mood Crusher out of here. Red team taking the 2 cap once again.
Blue team grab
Digham's
the
making
capture
his way
point.
to the henge node. We have to see if Why Am I So Hot making his way to mine. So they are going to clash at the middle of the beach here. Meanwhile, at the midpoint, we got a 3v2 going on. Actually, 4v2. Speedstar is getting super low down here. He needs some support. He has his Lich ready to go if he needs it. Does he get the heal off? Barely manages to not get the heal off. Amon coming in, trying to get the stop, but Zogus able to interrupt it. Shadow Refuge coming out from Zogus there. Able to get that res on a Speedstar just before the knockout comes out from Amon. Amon forced to use his elite there. We do have the decap coming out on the mid node here. Fairly close game still, only about a 35-point lead for the red team. This is definitely anybody's game to take. Trackful goes in the downstate here. Move Crusher coming in for the stomp. We'll have to see if he gets it. He does get it before any CC comes out. Looks like we do have Digham's getting that decap on the henge though. Blue team able to take the mid though, so we still have a 1 cap in each team's favor. Blue team only had a 2 cap for a couple seconds there, but Speedstar is going in the downstate as well. Probably going to get stomped. Actually, Nick's trying to get the res here. So is Why Am I So Hot. They do get the res onto him. Good res there. That's what they needed to stay into this game. We have to see if Trackful doesn't get to the point before Deacon gets that full cap. Speedstar has relatively high health still out of Destro. We do have Amon in the downstate over here. Does get up in time. Moves get super low in the process though. He does possibly, yes, he does get taken out there. A lot of damage coming out from Nick and Why Am I So Hot. They're just going to let him bleed. So the blue team doing what they can to, make sure Serpent and Moves, they're dead for a while here. They're probably going to +1 their home point here at Hedge and see if they're able to take this back and get that 2 cap. Get back into the lead here. Amon's going to +1 this fight as well. Trackful is in the downstate here. Bit of a misclick there. Nick is going to come around here and see possibly if he gets to res. I don't think he's going to. There's a lot of DPS here between Digham's and Amon. Amon does get the stomp. Looks like the blue team's actually going for mine. But the red team, Glutz did get the decap on mid. That is not good for the blue team at all. Zogus did get the decap on mine, which is good, but they're not taking any points right now, which is not good. And blue team going to be forced to once again win a mid fight if they want to get this point back, and red team's going to have the sides. So they have the advantage at the mid point. This is a 4v2 at mid right now. They really need to do something. Kill Glutz and push to their home node. There's no reason for them to push to mine. They've got a couple people just coming off respawn here.
Blue team takes a capture point.
They do kill Glutz. Zogus and company trying to take on Amon. See if they can take him out of the fight. We do have, wow. Looks like Glutz is going to get res. He misformed over there in the downstate, and Serpent and Move Crusher were just sitting there waiting for him coming off respawn. So it looks like the 2 cap is going to reside in the red team's favor. Glutz doing what he can to stay alive here, get away from these guys. Zogus doing a great job of pressuring him, but red team's doing a good job of holding their own right now. Blue team's just kind of, looks like they're pretty spaced out. They don't know exactly where they want to go. We got a 2v1 going on here. Moob Crusher will be able to stay alive for quite some time. We do have Zogus making good use of that mobility, trying to get out of this. That Mob hurting him so much from Digham's. Probably could have got that decap if he was not immobed right there. Back at this mine fight, though, we got a huge one going on. This is a 3v3. Amon putting out a lot of damage here, but blue team doing what they can to him as well. He has no cooldowns. He has his elite, I guess. It was interrupted there. He does manage to get it off, but the condies are going to tick, so wasted elite there. Banner comes out from Move Crusher there. So we'll have to see if they can capitalize on the no cooldowns from Amon and see who they can take out. Why Am I So Hot does go into the downstate here. Move Crusher coming into the stomp, but obviously he's got the misform ready. He does actually not use the misform. Opts out of that. Assuming it is possibly a lost fight. It is a 3v2. Amon's getting super low. Doesn't have any cooldowns up. The burning is going to tick. Oh, he manages to get that right off him just in time. Had about 16 health left. Looks like this game number 2 definitely could go in favor of Young Handsome if the blue team don't capitalize on something right now. We have a little bit of a BM coming out from the blue team. 2 own teammates. Not something
Did you see that?
to condone
Red
necessarily.
team
So
got a
red team
capture
going to take
point.
this 3 cap. They will take this game number 2 and push themselves into the finals where they will take on Team Magma. So pretty all strong, overall pretty strong performance from both teams here. Obviously, the red team had quite the advantage in most fights. They were just dominating them. Blue team had a couple opportunities to come back, but weren't able to actually capitalize on many of them. So good game for both teams here. We are going to go to a quick 3 to 4 minute break here, and then we'll go ahead and get into our final matchup for the night. So hang tight, guys, and we'll be back in just a minute.
The truth is running in our blood. The answers are lying here within.
Welcome back to the Academy Gaming Weekly number 12 finals, everybody. We have a good matchup for this evening. We have Team Magma against Young, Handsome, Rich Savages, which should be a very good matchup as both teams have fairly good players on each team. I do want to say a few things, though. I have had some complaints about the high-tier players being in this tournament. Well, I did want to try something new this evening. I wanted to see if I could allow for more than 2 high-tier players to be on a team with each other and all play alts and see how it fared out. It didn't work exactly as I intended, so that rule will be pushed back for the next tournaments where we only allow up to 2 high-tier players both on alts on a team together, and that'll work out a little bit better as opposed to this week. So apologies to all teams that were a little bit upset about that. It was a little bit of a test phase, and that won't be happening again. I also do want to say I am a little bit under the weather for those of you that can or cannot tell, so it's been a little bit difficult for me to solo cast this. So if I happen to make a few mistakes here and there, I apologize once again. But we do have our teams in the match, so we're going to go ahead and take a look at these really quick. We do have on the red team, we have Young, Handsome. We have Moobs, who's going to be on his... Oh, I do want to point out before this, since both teams do have all high-tier players on them, I am allowing them to both play their mains here. So we should have a very good match between both of these teams. So Moobs is going to be playing his DPS Guardian build. He will be running Scepter, Focus, Hammer with Runes of the Pack and Berserker Amulet, and his traits are going to be 01616. Next we've got Amon, who's going to be running the Thief for this team. He runs Dagger, Pistol, Shortbow with Runes of the Pack and Berserker Amulet, and he's going to be running 60206. Next we've got Diggums, who's going to be running the same build he ran in the last game, so he's not going to be switching to anything else. He is fairly good at this build for what it's worth. No offense to him, it is a very out of the norm build. You wouldn't see something like this in high tournament play, so it's still nice to see something like this being. He's going to be running Scepter, Focus with Sigil of Geomancy and Doom and Runes of the Balthazar and Carrion Amulet. His traits are going to be 40640, and he's going to be running Quadruple Signet with FGS. Next we've got Own, who is going to be running Staff Ellie. He's going to be running Runes of the Melandru and Celestial Amulet. He's going to be running 00266. I do want to point out he has Mist Form over the Cleansing Fire, so a little bit less Condi clear, but able to stay alive a little bit longer against the bursts that the blue team is able to push out onto the red team. Finally, for this red team, we have Karina, who will be on Condi Necro, He's running Staff with the Scepter Dagger. He's going to be running Runes of Nightmare and Carrion Amulet. His traits are going to be 06404. And for the blue team, Team Magma, we have Anya Sage Faye playing Dagger, Pistol, Shortbow, Panic Strike Thief. He's going to be running 60206. And we've got Stalacta, who's going to be running the Dagger Ellie for this team. He's going to be running 00266 as well. Nothing special. Cyndaquil is running Celestial Engineer as well. Nothing special. I do want to point out he's running Elixir S over the Slick Shoes. So a little bit... not as much CC, but has that stealth and obviously that invuln for the Somps or Res, which will be nice for him. Sunfish is going to be running DPS Guardian. He'll be on Hammer, Scepter, Focus with the Runes of the Travel, Berserker Amulet, and he's going to be running the same traits as Moobs with 01616. And finally, we've got Brain, who will be playing the Mesmer for this team. He's going to be running Staff, Sword, Torch with the Rune of Strength, Berserker Amulet, and his traits are going to be the typical Shatter traits, which will be 44006. Just waiting for, I do want to point out he is still running mirror images over Portal, so less mobility for him, but his team will be able to, he's going to be able to stay alive possibly a little bit longer, get a little bit more shatters off, a little bit more diversion, extra stun break, which could be definitely useful. He does have 3 stun breaks, which will be pretty nice for him. Obviously, he has the distortion as well, which isn't necessarily a stun break, but it's very useful in many situations. So we do have this match. This is the finals, guys. I do want to remind you we do have one giveaway after the finals, so definitely stick around for that. It'll be another hairstylist kit giveaway. Take a look at the opening splits. You have 3 members of the blue team are going to be pushing across the beach. They're going to be putting. Red team's not going to be pushing anybody here, so we're going to have to see what they're going to make of this. We do have Anya in stealth with Sunfish. We're going to have to see if they're able to get a burst off here. Trying to get that Chaos Armor, it looked like. They do have a couple people wait for him. Amon getting a lot of damage onto Anya here. Doing what he can to take him out. That is probably the biggest threat for him. When there's 2 thieves in a match, that's your main priority, the other thief. And the fact that Amon has to account for DPS Guardian and a Mesmer as well. That could get a little bit tricky. Interested to see how it's going to play out for him. Just a huge team fight coming out here. I mean, each team took their nodes, but I mean, there's not, aside from that, it's just a bunch of, a bunch of damage coming out. Amon did go down, a lot of damage going out from both teams here. All I see is a lot of clones just from Brain himself, doing what he can to, divert them away from him. I don't think it's a huge loss, though, that Amon was down, because the blue team really isn't able to capitalize on it. I mean, Anya's down now, too, so we got a 1v1 between two Dagger Ellies on that midpoint. We just got a huge Zerker fest going on here, which is nice to see for once, I must say. Just a lot of damage coming out from both teams, but there's so much of it, it's hard to follow. Move's getting kind of low. He does have his heal up in just a second, though, so red team holding their own here. Blue team looks like they're just going to forget that and just push onto this mid node here. Owen getting pretty low here. He is a staff LA, excuse me. I said Dagger LA from earlier. He still has his misform. He does misform out of there, rotating out of there. We do have Amon going for that decap on Henge. Amon's an extremely good thief mechanically, and his rotations are definitely up to par right now. He's getting that decap on the Henge node, which is going to be really good for him. But Owen is in downstate, so we could definitely see the blue team Cyndaquil take that mid node for their team, and the red team bailing the mid node and going to be pushing 4 sides here. Digum's getting super low. Digums does go down here. You have the 2 cap coming out for the red team and the mid cap coming out for the blue team. So ultimately, I feel the blue team has the advantage here because they did just manage to take out multiple members of the red team and are probably going to be pushing onto this mine node. Yep, we have Anya going for that decap there. Still have a little bit of skirmish going on here. Karina here in the downstate, but the thief, Amon, gonna get that decap on mid. Cyndaquil's a little bit out of position, so he's not able to even react to that. So we have a 1 cap just ticking in the favor of the red team here. They are gonna get the mine node though for the blue team. So fairly close game still. Easily the closest game of the night. 2 really good teams going at it here. Amon managing to get out of there with that stealth, that Shadow Refuge. You'll have to see if he goes back into that. Red team just kind of seeing if there's anybody off respawn. Seeing if they can, make sure they hold their own at the Henge. Ani getting bursted down there by Amon, but oh, the damage coming out from the DPS Guardian there. Absolutely crazy what a DPS Guardian can do to a thief. Forced to use that port right away. He's still in stealth from that Shadow Refuge, but obviously somebody's rezzing him, so I'm not surprised to see a lot of damage coming out onto him. They are not going to get that res. You got the 2 cap coming out in the favor of the blue team here. Team Magma doing work here. Owen and Cyndaquil just in a 1v1 here. And blue team's got the advantage around the map. They've got 2 people dead or in the downstate, so we're going to have to see if they push to a 3rd node and try to capitalize on that, or if they just hold their own at the 2 point, or if they possibly go for a cheat to their spawner care. It doesn't look like they're going to do the latter, though. So it's like they're just going to hold these 2 points. Ani just kind of sitting around here at the mine, just waiting for respawns possibly. We do have a big fight coming out here between each team. A lot of damage coming out onto Owen. Owen running for his life here. Did pop the FGS. Has his heal up, has his water attunement, so he's going to do just fine and get out of there alive. Big team fight coming out here on the Henge. Amon did come off a respawn and get that T-cap at the mine node. Karina contemplating what to do, decides to go help him out. We're going to see a 2v2 if Anya decides to +1 that. Otherwise, we'll see a 2v1 and possibly see... No, Anya's going to... He's kind of not sure what he's going to do. We have a big team fight coming out here, though. Cyndaquil's in downstate here at the mine node. And this is a little bit interesting. I mean, we've got a lot of down people throughout this map for the most part. I mean, a big team fight. So it looks like one team's winning one fight and the other team's winning the other fight, which isn't necessarily a good thing for either team because it depends upon their rotations and what they do from there. We have Amon getting the decap onto the mid node as Anya wasn't really paying attention to where he was. Needed some communication there as Karina's going to get that full cap, so the red team's going to be holding on the only cap here. Actually, no, Move's getting super low here. Move's taking the downstate. That is not good as they're just going to bleed him out there. They're going to be an advantage throughout the map as Owen just comes off a respawn for the red team, and we have Cinda for the blue team. So blue team is going to be at an advantage throughout the map, but red team's definitely got the advantage at the mid node. Amon all over Anya here. So is Karina trying to take him out. See if they can before reinforcements come out. Anya's super low. Does get taken down from the bleed ticks over there. They do manage to get Anya up though, so good play from the blue team there. Able to get him up. Just a huge... Most of this game is about skirmishes. Most of these fights are just skirmishes off the nodes. So for the most part, a lot of, I mean, you can't expect Zerker teams to wait to fight on nodes, so it's not really unexpected by any means. So a lot of damage coming out, and they're putting their Celestial people onto nodes, and the Zerker people leaving them to fight off point here. We do have a down person over here. Amon's in the down state. Anya's getting pretty low as well. Anya able to get that heal off, though. Blue team, you know, they have the lead, but red team's coming back with that 2-cap. They did manage to kick the mid node. Stalagta is going to be pushing with that FGS to the mine node. Owen already used his miss for him, so that's not too great for him. Karina, ooh, that damage. A lot of damage in his life death shroud here, but out of it, he's basically dead. So he's going to go down here. Karina in the down state. A lot of damage is coming out from both teams. This is absolutely crazy, the amount of down people we've had this game. We do have a 1v1. Moobs did go back to that mine node, able to get there in time. We do have Amon. Amon's going to push through the beach. Going to go get that decap. Owen does get taken down, so we do see... So Anya's going to be, he's going to make it there, Tim. Amon's probably not going to get that decap onto that node. So good awareness there from the blue team. Still a 1v1 going on between Moobs and Stalagta here. That's definitely in Stalagta's favor. Dagger Ellie should always be a DPS guardian. Moobs still holding onto that node by just one tick here. It's +1 by, yep, it's +1 by Sunfish there. He's forced to elite and try and get out of there. So that is going to be a decap. There we have it. Blue team taking that 2-cap once again. Amon getting pretty low over here. Let's go into the downstate. Blue team doing an excellent job, absolutely dominating most of these fights. Sunfish getting pretty low as well. Does go into downstate as well. We have respawns for the red team though. They're going to +1 that, so they're probably going to take back their home node. Sunfish does manage to get res by his team though, so good resurrection there from the excuse me, from the blue team. Trying to hold their own on this third point. We do have a decap from Owen. Actually, no, Brain was able to hop onto that point just in time. Moose is in downstate as well. Red team, if they want to win this game, get back into it, they still can. They just need to win this fight at their home point, and they have to make sure they rotate well to the midpoint. Diggins gets taken down as well, so Moves and Diggins down. Sunfish down as well. Slags is down. 2 people from both teams down. Amon getting the stomp on Sunfish. Going to rally 2 members of the red team here. Just what they needed to get back into this game. Blue team kind of relentless there. Looked like they were going to make another push for it, but Anya, a little caught off guard there, was able to. Amon was able to take him down, just going to bleed him out there. Now the red team has the offensive advantage here, going to be pushing hard onto all 3 nodes, knowing they need it if they want to get back into this game. Karina's going to be in a 1v1 against the Guardian Sunfish over there. We do have a decap node at the midpoint still, so definitely not in anyone's favor particularly. Not a huge numbers advantage for anyone. We have a 2v2 going to be going on here once Moobs is able to get here in time. Moobs making good use of his mobility, trying to get there in time. Doesn't get the decap though, or the knockoff. So red team going to be holding the 2-cap regardless. They did manage to win that mid node. So now they're on the offensive. They can definitely come back into this game with a couple boss kills and hold on to this 2-cap. Anya going to be pushing through beach off the respawn, trying to get the decap at the mine, but notices that Diggums is sitting there waiting for him, so he's not going to actually go for that. Anya forced to use a couple cooldowns, trying to get on a Karina, but he has Amon all over him. He still has Shadow Refuge, manages to use it. Amon gets a couple hits while he's in Shadow Refuge. Moobs goes into the downstate. A lot of damage coming out from both teams here. Moobs does get knocked away by Sunfish here. Karina's about to go down as well. Actually, he was in the Death Shroud there, but he's still getting pretty low. Sunfish getting pretty low. Does get the stab stomp onto Karina. So this is going back in the favor of the blue team. It's just a back and forth battle for the most part. It's all about the rotations as both teams have a lot of damage. It could go either way for the most part. I mean, blue team just hitting that 200 point mark. As long as the red team can hold on to these 2 nodes. Ooh, that didn't work out so well for Amon. He did pour onto the point, but he doesn't have it anymore. So we need some help here immediately before they get that decap. Diggums missed, but the miss isn't far enough, so the decap coming out, but the red team decaps their only node. So red team's still taking the only node in this game right now, but Sunfish trying to get that cap for his team at the mid node. There's a little bit of just skirmishes everywhere here. Karina getting trained down by multiple members of the blue team. Tries to create a little diversion there with that Spectral Walk, but looks as if maybe it was a misclick. He's going to probably get taken down here. Blue team taking that 2-cap, just what they need to make sure that they can solidify the steal and win this game. I mean, there is potential for the red team to still win this. They have the damage for it. They're not Celestial by any means. They have one celestial person on their team. So they can definitely take a game here. We're going to have to take the game if they're able to get some damage out onto players that they need to right now. But all 5 members of the blue team. Ooh, the decap comes out from Diggums. Just what they needed. But there's a lot of blue team members around this point. Cyndaquil and Stalactite going to be a 2v1 here. But they still need a decap at the mid node. No reason for Owen to sit at that home node right now. All 5 members should be accounted for. Red team really just needs to push into something right now and get a decap on the mid node if they want to win this game. Moves doing what he can. Sunfish looked like he blocked that knockback there. So this is going to be a tough fight for the red team if they want to get this decap anytime soon. Oh, they do get the decap! Whoa! I'm not exactly sure how that happened. Looked like a couple of members of the blue team bailed to make sure that Amon got stomped there. They chased him off, managed to get the decap up. Meanwhile, over here at the mine node, Cynical's in the downstate over here. Diggums goes in the downstate. Blue team does get the decap on the henge node. Red team still taking the only point, but it's not going to go in their favor anytime soon. I mean, we got Diggums. Diggums take it rest. Lacta is downstate, so we could see a huge comeback here. Karina getting that stomp, going to be taking that node. Blue team not even going for the node. They're just going to go straight for the boss right now. Red team does have a couple of members in the area. Amon. Oh, no, that's game. There's no one even in there. Oh, Amon's there. Oh, oh, man. The kill. Amon, I didn't think he was in the area, but he used all of his teleports to get there in time. Young Magma taking out, or excuse me, Team Magma taking out Young Gentleman there, or excuse me, Young Handsome. So many different words for him right there. I mean, look at the point differential. Look at the amount of points that the blue team had. They had 100s, 200s. Everybody under the red team had under 100 points. So you could obviously see that Team Magma was definitely taking the team fights there and absolutely dominating them for the most part. But the rotations were what mattered for the most part. That's what was going to win the game for both of them. Going into this game number 2, if Team Magma can manage to take this like they did the last one, it's super close. They will be taking home 2,000 gems per player, 10,000 gems in total, and that would mean that Young Handsome are going to be taking home 800 gems per person. So we'll have to see if Young can force a game number 3 to get that first place prizing, or if Magma will be taking home the first place prize in this week's matchup here. Do want to mention to those of you just joining us, we do have one more giveaway for this evening. It will be a self hair kit, which will be gifted to you via the gem store. So definitely something to stick around for after this. Waiting on a couple of members for the blue team to go ahead and join up here. Cyndaquil apparently had to AFK for just a couple seconds, so I'm going to go ahead and put on some music while we wait for this to go ahead and get started. Alright, there we have it. We have our teams readied up. I have
The
to see
match
if Team
starts
Magma
soon.
decides to take home the victory here as first place, or if Young can manage to take it into a game number 3. Let's take a look at the opening splits for both teams here. I would be surprised to see them go for 2 nodes again. There's not a lot of sustain for either team, so
Hold on
I'll have
your
to see what
points.
their decision making
Seeds
is
theirs.
on this side of the map here. We do have Cyndaquil. He's going to be pushing for that waterfall. Red team making a little bit of a safer split, going to Corey with 2 people. We do have a 3-point push. Dagum's going to be pushing for that 3rd node, so huge team fight possible coming out at the mid node. We have Brain and Anya in the stealth here. They're going to put out a lot of damage onto Glutes here. Glutes getting taken down to 50% health, able to sustain himself just fine though. Stay alive for what it's worth. He's still around that
Red team
danger
wins
zone.
the capture
Gets
point.
back up to full here. Red team does take the quarry though, as there was not a 3-node push for the blue team. Blue team should have had the advantage at the mid node though. We do have a 1v1 going on between Amon and Anya over here, but Glute's going to come support him. So the only nodes here taken for the red team. Not a lot of on-point fighting though. It's just a lot of off-point Zerkers skirmishing for the most part. That's what it's been for the the whole last game. It was just a lot of skirmishing off the point. As if you're Zerker, you really don't need a point to sit on. As if you're like a warrior, you're better off fighting on point. If you're a dagger Ellie, you're better off fighting on point because there's fields that you want your enemies to stand in. Unlike Zerker, you don't really need to. You make your own fields. Like if you're a DPS guardian, you can set up that field and keep people in it and do the damage inside of it. So for the most part, you don't really need to make sure that you're on a node. That's what they've been doing for them. Why wait when you can try and burst them down now? You have Amon getting super low here. Does manage to get out alive. Do have the decap that did come out from the blue team on the Corey node. They are going to get that full
Just
cap
like
back on
that,
Corey.
blue
Blue
team
team did
takes
take the
the
midpoint,
point.
so that is absolutely huge. Blue team able to take some points, get back into this. Dagum's does go into the downstate here. A lot of damage coming out from Brain
Red
and
team
company
wins
there.
the
Anya
capture
was
point.
taken out up here by Amon though. Trying to get the res. He is in stealth here. He's going to have support. Red team does take the Corey node, so we have a 1-1 cap in each team's favor. Looks like Amon. Ooh, the damage coming out from Anya and company there. They did manage to take down Amon, which is huge. I have to see what moves his next move is going to be. Oh, the damage onto Anya just gets an abs.
Blue team
Oh
grab
man,
the capture point.
that was a lot of burst. That's gonna. He does get the mass and Viz off. Brain gets it onto Anya here, but I don't think he's gonna get the res. Yep, we do have the kill coming out onto Anya there. So even fight 4v4 throughout the map here. Sir Clive, who is now on a Power Ranger. I believe he did swap from another class in the last game, if I'm not mistaken. He's going to be putting out a lot of damage for his team as well. They do manage to take down moves. He was stomped just a second ago. We have respawns coming out for Anya. Blue team has a 2 cap here. Brain goes in the downstate though. This isn't looking so great for the red team or blue team right now. Despite the 2 cap, they have a very slight lead, and they have a numbers disadvantage throughout the map though. So, as Cyndaquil is now in the downstate as well over here. Gets probably going to get the res. Yep, does get res by Stalactite and Anya there. Decap almost coming out there. They get the decap on the waterfall though, which is really good. They do take down Digum. So there's just a lot of a lot of killing going on. There's so
Red
much
team wins the
Zerker
capture point.
between both teams. It's very interesting to watch as opposed to the Celestial meta that we are so accustomed to. Anya doing what he can to put the damage out onto Serpent there. Digum's a lot of, for the most part, it's skirmishing, like I've said before. Each team has a Celestial or 2, maybe, but the rest of them are all Zerker, or they have a 1 Connie class, and for the there's no reason to necessarily stick on one person when you have a thief on each team, who are just going to be sitting on each other. So there's just so many skirmishes going on in the midst of different skirmishes. You think you've got one big fight going on off a node, but in fact, it's actually 2 or 3 fights. So Amon does go into the downstate here. Red is taking the 2 cap here, which isn't a huge deal for the blue team. They had the lead there. They could, they could take that for a little bit. The red team did get the decap on the mid node, and gonna get the full cap, and gonna be pushing for 3 nodes
Just
here.
like
So we're gonna have to see if
Blue
Brain can
team
take on
takes the
Glutes.
capture point.
Stalactite trying to get the decap on Corey, does not get there in time. Digums did manage to get onto that point, despite being less mobile than a dagger Ellie. So that's good for him. should be able to hold his own for a bit there, especially with Serpent plus running him here. 2 cap still taking in favor of the red team. Blue team are just going to bail out of this fight. We have Select making his way dropping the FGS. Brain did take out Glutes, so I mean Glutes is playing Dagger Ellie, and Brain playing the Shatter Mesmer there. Did manage to take him out in that 1v1. Clive must have been there too as well. I mean, very interesting to see that. I mean, blue team is going to be taking this 2 cap once again. Moobs does get res off a rally from Anya getting stomped there, so that is pretty big, as they really needed that to get back into this game. I mean, they've got a small lead. I say get back into this game, but this is a snowball map, so if you get a 2 cap, you could be set for the rest of the game. Selecta does go into the down state. There's just so much damage from both teams that you could literally see anything happen in a game. You could see a 400-point comeback if you have the damage to decap other people, and which both teams do. Selecta does get fully taken out here. Cyndaquil getting pretty low, managing to stay alive though. Diggums is getting super low as well. Does go into the down state. We have Moves getting low as well. He's in the down state, so that's not good for either team here, as Cyndaquil is about to go down. Now that's actually really good for the red team in terms of getting the caps. They got the sides now. They don't need to focus on this midpoint. They can bail out. Amon, you know, he has the mobility to get out. He doesn't actually. He probably didn't have any cooldowns to get himself out of there. Looks like Clive, I'm not exactly sure his thought process on that one. He could have easily gotten a decap on Corey. He decides possibly to try and help out Anya or kill Serpent, but decides, hey, my team doesn't need my help right here. I can get this decap at least. Gonna get the full cap. Get that 2 cap back into his team's favor. Anya trying to get that stomp onto Glutes. Looks like they're probably gonna bail and let him bleed out there. So they got the 2 cap once again, looking good for the blue team. Get back up into that 250-point range as the red team just crossed. Gonna be pushing for a 3rd node. Cyndaquil making a move onto Moobs over there. We're gonna have to see who wins that matchup. Looks like a team fight could be emerging from either of the mid node or this Corey node. I'm not exactly sure, as the red team just seems to be in limbo here. Not exactly. I mean, they got 2 people on a respawn. They have to wait. If they don't wait, they are gonna lose the fight. There's too much damage from the blue team to not wait. I mean, you might lose a couple of points, but comeback is fairly easy on this map. Moves is in a 1v2 over here. Should probably play pretty defensively. Looks like he might be a little stuck on that thing there. He wasn't able to actually move off of it. Decap comes out. Diggum's here to support him. Not a lot of support comes out from Diggum's build, actually, so we'll have to see if that plays to advantage or not. Serpent and Glute. So red team just gonna, you know, forget their home node, forget the mid node, and make a push over to Waterfall. Moves was taken down by Ani there. Indigo getting pretty low as well, but this is definitely in favor of that blue team. They're trying to get that stomp onto Moves. Red team did manage to get that Waterfall finally. So much damage coming out, but I mean, there's 2 people for the red team to res this. Moves claiming he had a broken keyboard. Apparently that was why he could not move. We'll have to see if he's able to, you know, come back from that here. But blue team forced back into their base. Have to see if Clive is able to get a decap. Oh, does get a decap even without the knockback. We had the interrupt coming out from Marvin there. I mean, that is a casted ability. It is a half-second cast there, so he could get the interrupt, but he didn't even need the interrupt to actually get the decap there. Red team getting that cap back on the Waterfall. We do have the decap node obviously at the midpoint here. So 1 cap in each team's favor. This is definitely not out of the question. But I do want to say Selecta is already on the Lord over here. He's soloing this Lord. Amon's over here though, so he's going to be able to force Selecta off of that. It's good to know though. I mean, you got the gate down. You don't have any NPCs dead, but it's good to know you actually have the gate down in case you actually need that. They have a significant lead right here. They don't need to push for it. They don't need to force it. Both teams could easily take down, you know, the Lord with only a couple seconds. So we'll have to see if either team opts for that. Glutes does get taken down here. Brain able to get that stomp. We do have Moobs making his way into this. We'll have to see if he can get some good damage out onto him. Moobs trying to get some damage onto Brain. Only got about 20-30% of his health. We do have Clive here as well to support him. Blue team taking both side points. Have that 400 mark now. Red team really just need to regroup and push into a node. A couple of nodes maybe. They got 2 members of their team just sitting around at their base as they're waiting for Glutes to get off respawn. But this is bad. They're staggered. moves is off, you know, he's just going down. He's not going to be up for another 20 seconds or 15 seconds. By the time he gets to the core, it'll be 30 seconds. So blue team by that time is going to, you know, they're going to tick quite a few points with this 2-cap here and possibly 3-cap anytime soon. I think this game, they're actually not even going to go for this. They're just going to go ahead and take the 2v1 at the waterfall and leave mid open. They don't need to cap it. Digham's taken down over here. Excuse me, at the waterfall node, so that was taken care of quite easily by Brain and Cynical. So I think we're going to see game number 2 going to Team Magma and taking that first place victory.
Just like that.
Blue team taking the 3-cap there, and I think there we have it, folks. Team Magma taking down Young Handsome for the first place prize. And there we have it, folks. We have Team Magma taking them down. Didn't seem too difficult for them that match as opposed to the other match. They won a lot of the fights. Red team was very staggered, you know, from the beginning on out after they lost the first team fight. So it's very interesting to see how that worked, though. A lot of Zerker classes coming out from each team there. It was very nice to see that over the Celestial meta. I do want to say, before we go ahead and shut down the stream, we do have one more giveaway. So to be entered into the giveaway, you must be following the stream, and you have to say something in the Twitch chat within the past 10 minutes of me doing the giveaway. So if you're unsure if you've said something, go ahead and say something in the Twitch chat now. Hit follow if you aren't, and we will take a 2-minute break here, and we'll be back with the final giveaway for the night. So hang tight, folks. So we're back, and we have our giveaway to go ahead and do. So those of you just joining us or didn't hear me, make sure to say something in the Twitch chat here, and make sure you're following if you want to be entered into the giveaway. I do want to give a few announcements and answer a few questions here. The Academy Gaming Weekly is hosted on NA and EU every single Monday. For NA, it is at 5:30 p.m. Pacific and 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. We allow teams and we allow free agents. So if you're a free agent, you don't have a team, it is a great opportunity for you to sign up. We actually had a free agent team make it to the semifinals tonight and almost take out a pre-made team. So it's really nice. You get to play with some new players and meet some new people. And as a team, we allow low to mid-tier players. Tonight I was a little bit lenient. I was trying something new, so we'll have to see next week. If I'm probably not going to allow for that again. We're going to be allowing strictly low to mid-tier teams and 1 to 2 high-tier players on each team if necessary, if they wish to play and haven't prized within the last 70 days, and they must be an alt account. So that's how that works for the most part. But we're going to go ahead and do our giveaway here. Last one for the night. It is a hairstyle kit, so we'll have to see who takes this home tonight. Our winner is Elks Dark. I believe that is Hitzer. So Hitzer, if you can go ahead and say something in the Twitch chat within the next minute, you will claim your prize. I do also want to thank Ready Made and Chloe once again. They helped me admin this tournament. It's very huge thanks to them. I couldn't do it without them. It's difficult enough to cast solo when I'm sick, but to have admins, it really helps a lot. So, Elk Stark, you did win a self hairstyle kit, so go ahead and message me your account name on Twitch, and I will go ahead and get that sent to you tonight. But I do want to say thanks to everybody for coming out tonight.